Hey everyone, my name is Matt. Welcome to my shop. Today is April 26th and it's my weekly shop update. So, last weekend I was at Fine Woodworking Live. That was a great show. So if you haven't been to a show like that, there's like classes and marketplace and things like that. So you get to kind of learn from some really talented instructors and see some cool stuff. But the thing I absolutely love about going to those kind of shows is meeting people. It's just so awesome to get out there and meet people, and just kind of invigorates me and gets me all excited to be here in the shop making things. If you haven't gone to one of these things before, it's definitely worth it if you can make it out there. It's not going to be a cheap thing unless you're local. But it's definitely worth it from the social aspect, especially. That's the part that I like the most about it. I get the most out of that. It's really easy to meet people there because probably everyone loves woodworking, so you have a really easy icebreaker. Just ask the person next to you what they're working on in their shop, how big their shop is, what their favorite woods to work with are, the stereotypical woodworker type questions. They get the conversation rolling, and you're probably making you like best friend while you're there. So it was awesome to meet and see everyone that I did at the show. It's always great to just have people walk up to you and say that they like what you do. So thank you all so much for that. So in the shop this week, I have not a whole lot going on, to be honest, because I travel a lot. I was gone from like Thursday through Sunday. So I have a quick little update on the outfeed table cabinet. Not really a whole lot going on there. And I also want to give you a look at where the river table is with the glass inlay. So I warned you, not a whole lot going on here. I started getting the edge banding installed onto the plywood, and that's going to be the same stuff that I'll be having for all of the drawer fronts on here. I'm using box elder for that because I have a lot of it, and I think it's going to look pretty, like pretty. So the stuff that I cut up for the edge treatment here is like the most boring board from the stack that I have, and then the stuff for the drawer fronts, I have a whole section of log, like this guy here. It's got a lot of really nice color to it. Some of that red flame. This has got some bird's eye looking kind of figure stuff. So I think it's going to make for really nice drawer fronts. So it also gave me an opportunity to use up some more wood, because I don't have enough of that. So over here on the river waterfall table, I did get the glass back from the glass cutter. I have it wrapped in masking tape right now, but it's a really nice kind of pale blue kind of color. If I can get some tape off of here to show you the color. Come on. Have it wrapped in tape so I don't scratch it or something, but it's got a really nice kind of blue kind of hue to it. It's not super dark, and it is very transparent, so I'm really looking forward to seeing this thing installed in the slab. I think it's going to look just super awesome. So I'm to the point where I'm ready to create the recess in here for this glass to drop into. It goes like this, I think. Yeah. It goes on there, something like that. So this will drop down into a rabbet in this area in here. So there's a couple of ways you could approach this. You could set the glass in place, trace around it, and then route away all the waste freehand. Or you can create a template that you can drop over here and just route away a pocket for it and know that it's going to fit in there perfectly. And that's the way that I'm going to be going with this install. Sorry, it's a little late. Losing my mind here. So, this right here is my negative template of my piece of glass. So in theory, this should fit in here. It's nice and snug. It fits in there perfectly. There's no gap around there. So this just makes the process really easy and pretty mindless. So to create this template was pretty easy. So this is actually the last step. First thing I did was use the piece of glass as a template to cut a opening into an intermediary template. So this template is bigger than the piece of glass. This is bigger by a 1/4 inch all the way around, because that is the size of the bit that I used to route away all the waste. So if I drop the glass in there, you can see the template is actually a 1/4 inch bigger than the glass all the way around, which isn't all that useful for using a pattern bit to create a recess like I want to do. So what I need is the actual negative template, so I need to shrink this outside template down by a 1/4 inch, and that's what the final template is here. And the process to create the final template is really easy. All I have to do is use that intermediary template with a guide bushing that has the right offset and make a new template using the intermediary as a reference, and that'll leave me with a perfectly sized template to the original piece, which is my piece of glass. So now all I have to do with my template is set it in place where I want it, and then use a pattern bit, one of these guys, which will just follow that template and route a pocket that is exactly the same size as my negative template, which means my piece of glass will drop right in there perfectly. So this table is just about done, which means that the full guild build for the waterfall tables is almost done as well. I'll be taking a little break here. Mark will be jumping in with the executive desk build, and then I'll be back at it again in the summer doing a sideboard build. So that should be fun, I think. But yeah, I think that's all that's going on in my shop this week. Let's take a look at some viewer projects. First this week is a rocking lion by Alex. Alex made this rocking lion for his grandson's first Christmas. It's made from red oak and maple, and the finish is beeswax and mineral oil. Next is a river dining table by Kyle. The table is Nakashima inspired and is made from 2 7.5 foot long book matched cherry slabs with 8 gallons of epoxy resin tinted blue as the river. It has 2 1 foot long extensions cut off the original slabs to create a seamless extension rather than traditional breadboards. Next is an entry table by Jeremy. The drawer is made from walnut and curly maple using half-plane dovetails in the front and through dovetails in the back. The drawer supports are attached to the table with a sliding dovetail. Jeremy says this is his first piece of finer furniture and it was a blast to make. You can find more of Jeremy's work over on Instagram. Last this week is a warp box by John. It's made from red oak and mahogany, and the crazy warp pattern was formed on the bandsaw by stacking the mahogany and oak boards, cutting them together and alternating every other piece. John says the hardest part of this project was designing it so the waves flowed continuously across all 4 sides. John put together an instructable about building this box, and I'll leave a link to that down in the description. So lastly, if you're in the area, the Northern Wood Show is on at the Eden Prairie Center. That's running today, Thursday through Sunday. There's a lot of great pieces in the show. I just got back from setting up. I brought the Highboy there. It's sitting in the middle of a mall, which is just a funny thought. So definitely check that out. This year, I'll be there later on today making a video of the whole show. So in the past, I've just had kind of a synopsis thing in the shop update, but I'm going to do a dedicated video on the show, give you a much closer look at some of the amazing work that is there on display. So yeah, if you're in the area, stop by the Eden Prairie Center, go shopping, look at some furniture, have a good time. So that's all I have for this week. Thank you as always for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments about anything I talked about today, anything here in my shop, please feel free to leave me a comment. As always, I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. And until next time, happy woodworking.